Aloha, it's great to stand again with another product review. Today I'll be reviewing the French-based company Raging Heroes. This is a miniature company based out of Surprise, southern France, and they offer a little bit of a niche in the miniature worlds. What they really offer, and I'm sure a gender studies student would probably classify this as some sort of proof that gamers exercise a sort of microaggression against females, and that these products are actually a subliminal sexism that pervades the gaming world. Okay, maybe I'm just going a little too far with that. Basically, they have sexy miniatures. They have a bunch of women scantily clad in a variety of uniforms that you can include as alternative sculpts for maybe your commissars, or in my case, my dark elf witches that I have in my army. Now, when I came across Raging Heroes, I was really in the market for an alternative to the really bad 1980s hairband-esque witch elves that GW was offering. I think at that time GW had again increased the prices on their models, and I really was not thrilled about paying a ton of money for miniatures I wasn't completely thrilled about. So I was in the market to look for alternatives. I had looked at other miniature companies, and this particular company I think had a banner on Druchi.net or some other message board that I was looking at. And they had a banner and I clicked it and I came to it and I was really surprised and really impressed on what they were offering. Alright, so before I go ahead and discuss the particular product I purchased, which was the Blood Vestals, I just want to show you what their homepage looks like. We've been looking at it so far. It's pretty well set up. It has all the links to each of the particular products they offer by category. The only way I think this could be better, of course, is if they got rid of the words and just included the pictures. Because I'm more of a visual person, it would have appealed to me a little bit better. But yep, this homepage, encourage you to visit it. Now, I purchased two relatively different products. I bought the command group for the Blood Vestals, and then I bought a box of rank and file. When I first saw them, I was very impressed. They were way more modern and sleeker than the ones offered by GW. And at the time, I believe that the price was slightly cheaper, maybe about $5 in difference. So what I was also particularly interested in was getting a BSB, and when I saw the command group, the BSB was fantastic. And here is a close-up of what I was looking at when I was getting ready to purchase this product. Alright, and as you can see in this particular picture, and probably some that I'll be showing later, the level of detail is just really incredible. I was really impressed by it, and it was something that was really motivating me to purchase this over just going ahead and shelling over the money to GW. And now, this is fair warning, I am going to get a little bit critical here at this point, but here is a picture of the same model purchased and delivered to me, of course painted, and unfortunately not painted to the greatest level. You know, you always improve. This was not terribly great. But yeah. So maybe you could tell in this picture, especially if you have HD on, it is a very well sculpted model. It's very good, and at the time there was nothing really like it, because at the time only GW I felt like had anything to offer, and it was very goofy looking. And these are, you know, these are very sleek, and I really appreciate that. However, if you do look back at some of these pictures, and I will plug in another picture here, the level of detail, especially in the face, is just not that deep in the actual model. Yes, and particularly in the eyes even. When painting this model, I had a very difficult time doing the eyes. I may be spoiled in the fact that GW does have pretty deep recesses, allowing pretty much not having to worry about freehand. And this could be the fault of the hobbyist and not a fault of a product. But when you do have these pictures of these models here, and the deepness of the sculpts is present, and I'm impressed by it, I am a tad bit let down when it turns out I have to actually pretty much draw the eyes on my products. To me, it's like going to the store and buying a coloring book and finding out I have to draw the pictures. It's not something I'm terribly thrilled about. Beyond the facial features not being as sculpted as deep as I would have liked, there also was a problem with, I felt, the armor. The scales that make up the armor were not as pronounced as I would have liked them to be based on what I saw in the picture. And really, this is what it's going to come down to. My expectations had some sort of discrepancy with the actual product, or there was a discrepancy between the actual product and my expectations. That's better better put. But here is a picture of what you can do with these models. You can make them look fantastic. I mean, there's no doubt that these models are fantastic. It's just there was that discrepancy. So this is something I think they posted on their Facebook page, and you should really consider before you just take my word on how their product should be judged. Okay, as we talk about price, I do want to put a little bit of an asterisk above my final score for price. To be fair, had I reviewed this at the time I purchased it, I believe they would have gotten a much higher score because at the time I was given the choice between buying GW's old style sculpts and their very sleek and modern sculpts. And I really think at the time I probably would have said the price was very fair. As of right now, GW has released new sculpts for the Witch Elves, and when you compare the prices, 5 miniatures for $30, meaning 60 for 10, not including shipping and possibly any taxes that apply, versus GW's $60 and the taxes that may apply there, I'm not entirely sure that you can convince me to spend the money on the alternative sculpts, especially now that I've experienced what I have experienced. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the final scores. Now, I really want you guys to know that I really debated this in my mind, like what am I going to give them for product, and I had to settle with a 6. 8, they're definitely not one of the best miniature companies out there, so I can't give them an 8. 7, I can't give them because I had expectations and they didn't really meet those expectations. They fell a little bit short on that, and that was based on what they were showing me in pictures on the website. So I gave them a 6. That means I'm satisfied with the product, and I would probably do purchases with them again. Yeah, so we move on to delivery and communication. There wasn't much to report there. They're based out of France. I live in Hawaii. It didn't take them a month. They didn't get it to me the next day. So I'm going to give them a 7. It was a pretty reasonable amount of time. As far as communication, there wasn't a lot of need for it. They have a little page on their website where you can give them your email to them, and then like a quick couple questions, and then they respond to you via email. I did send them some questions regarding their products, and they responded to me within a week. So, a 7. Alright, so lastly we're going to talk about price, and this is really complicated to me, but this is what I'll say about it. 5, first of all, not a negative score. It just symbolizes that I think it could use improvement, and the reason why I think that is because I think if you're going to be a competitor against GW, you are going to have to price lower than GW, unless of course you're extremely superior to GW. I forget the name of the company off the top of my head, but I know that they've been doing something, lots of naked voluptuous women, but they have a superior product. I think they could get away with purchasing their products, their models above GW. However, Raging Heroes isn't that. Raging Heroes is maybe equatable, in my opinion, a little bit lesser than GW, and I feel like they need to price accordingly. They do not. They are roughly the same, so it's going to be hard to pull me out of my market for GW models into a broader market, and that's just my humble opinion. Again, I'm not an economist. I didn't major in economics, so that's just my opinion. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I hope it will help you make a decision. I would say that I recommend Raging models if you're in the market for alternatives, but I would not recommend them to the extent that I would say it's a good replacement for GW models. Alright, well thanks a whole bunch and see you later.